Howdy all, this is Alex Borak from INBOX25, Marketing Automation Made Easy. Thanks for attending today's webinar, How to Effectively Market to New Leads in Under 5 Minutes. At the end of the webinar, there will be a short Q&A. If at any point during the webinar you have a question, just throw it in the chat bubble. I'll get to as many as I can, and any questions I don't answer, I will follow up in an email following the demonstration. Today's webinar is being recorded live and will be up for further viewing on our knowledge base as well as on our YouTube channel. So with all the housekeeping out of the way, let's get to the agenda. So this webinar will be a little different from my previous presentations. Today I'll be focusing on not only how to effectively market to new leads and show examples, but also explain why it's important to market to your leads as quickly and efficiently as possible. So, why is it important to engage with your leads as quickly and efficiently as possible? Well, for one, your organization will have a higher probability of creating revenue. It's also common for a sales team to relay to the marketing team that they want the pipeline stuffed with as many leads as possible, and for the marketing team to create mechanisms to deliver these results. Specifically, with INBOX25, you're also in a real-time data sync with your sugar or sweet CRM. So why wouldn't you want to engage with leads coming from, say, a form in a minute or so? The functionality is certainly there. Also, resources are spread thin sometimes throughout organizations, and you don't want to waste the resources allocated to marketing or sales for lead generation. So it's good to make as much use of the resources allocated as possible. So there are many channels of lead generation. But for today, I want to focus the conversation on lead generation through website traffic, as well as manual input of a record from, say, a call or a face-to-face that your rep has had with the lead. So I want to throw some figures out at you based on daily research the INBOX25 team conducts on marketing automation. So one study we found stated that businesses are in fact not reaching out to their leads in a timely fashion. The study covered B2B and B2C companies in the professional services, technology, automotive, education, financial services, and healthcare industries, to name a few. The study introduced the idea that businesses are turning more and more to the internet to drive sales, specifically website-driven sales. The study concluded with mentioning a separate study that companies who engage with leads in under 1 hour were 7 times more likely to turn that lead into an opportunity, and 60 times more likely than companies who responded in 24 hours. So think of the increased probability of converting leads to sales if you're engaging with them in under 5 minutes. It's not just about engaging with leads as quickly as you can, but also having a strategy in place that will keep that lead engaged with you until they become a won or a lost opportunity. So in comes lead nurturing, giving users access to plug leads into one or multiple paths once they become known to you. Did you know that nurtured leads, on average, produce 20% more sales versus non-nurtured leads? Now, this strategy doesn't exclusively involve nurturing the lead, but don't you want some sort of reporting on how your lead is receiving your outbound efforts? Reporting analytics are crucial to understanding what marketing processes work better than others. And being able to bring these analytics to your sales team is also equally important. This process will be aligning your marketing and sales team more cohesively, which is effectively what marketing automation should be doing. So this is where lead scoring comes in. By deploying numerical values to leads based on their profile or based on how engaged they are with your organization, then when your sales team interacts with any particular lead, having the analytics in front of them will enable them to start a conversation with a specific lead. For example, if your sales rep notices that a VP of marketing opened and clicked through the first touch email, when they call the lead, this would be a good starting point to launch the discussion. So now let's go over some common misconceptions about marketing automation. Marketing automation cannot be implemented overnight or a matter of days. Unless you have several employees working around the clock, this is something that's just not feasible. Another thing is that every process can be automated, no matter how simple or complex. The truth of the matter is that some processes are just ingrained into the organization, that changing it could alter the course of the organization's sales process, or it could prove more beneficial to just leave the process alone. Another is that anyone can use marketing automation. Although I agree that given time, anyone can learn marketing automation software, but who has the time and resources to wait for processes to be refined, all the while losing out on possible revenue? You need to make sure that your team has a skill set to launch a multifaceted marketing strategy, or find someone with that skill set. Some companies believe that getting the platform is the first step, and everything else will fall into place. This is not necessarily the right path, and sometimes will cause frustration with the marketing automation platform if you go into the investment without the mindset. You need a message to send to your leads as they are engaging with you, even if it's a simple thank you email. Without a clear approach to what messages and what content you want leads to receive and when, you could potentially be spamming your leads and hurting your ROI. Lastly, a very common misconception is that you should be expecting an ROI yesterday. Typically, with a fully functioning marketing automation platform that has been cemented into your marketing and business strategies, an organization will start to see an ROI within 3 months to 6 months. This is dependent, of course, on lead volume as well as the average sales cycle of a lead, not to mention time taken to implement and cement the marketing automation platform into your organization. This also speaks to who is implementing your marketing automation platform. So, how can marketing automation facilitate effectively reaching out to your leads in under 5 minutes? Well, for one, if one of your main channels of lead generation are in fact coming from your site, then it's also good to assume that your organization has lined up some resources to spend on PPC and SEO to drive traffic to your site via meta searches. Now you've brought your lead onto your site, what do you do with them? Well, first comes the setup. Marketing automation cannot be fully implemented overnight, and there should be considerable discussion with your team on how you want to interact with new leads. Working off the example of engaging with leads coming to your site, then, the INBOX25 tools you want to immediately make use of would be our site monitor or visitor tracking tool, and our landing pages and forms. The site monitor tool will enable you to see who is on your website, where they're coming from, and what pages they're viewing, while the landing pages will allow you to embed a form on your site for a lead to fill out. Anyone who fills out that form will become a known visitor via Site Monitor. Some other setup that is highly recommended is the content you'd like to send to the lead, as well as a lead scoring formula that will enable you to see how engaged or how warm the lead is as they move through your workflows. With all of these tools implemented successfully and diligently, companies adopting marketing automation will see ROI anywhere from 3 to 12 months. This time frame depends on several factors, as mentioned before, notably length of sales cycle of an average lead, the amount of time spent setting up and implementing the marketing automation platform, as well as demonstrating clear goals you'd like a marketing automation platform to complete for the organization. Also, to reiterate from before, the skill set of the team implementing the platform is also crucial. So, let's talk about some best practices for setup. Include links to your site in every email campaign. This will allow the number of known visitors to your site to increase, thus allowing you to market to them in different ways. Site Monitor should be installed as soon as possible upon purchase of a Pro Marketer plan. If you don't intend to use the Site Monitor as a lead generation tool immediately, that's fine. You've put the tool in place so that if you change your mind in the future, you won't have to worry about that. Keep your forms short. The more information you request, the more of a burden you're putting on the lead to fill out all the information. Or, a very simple business term, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Replicate the forms from INBOX25 to your site. If you're implementing INBOX25 and you don't want to or don't plan to replicate the existing forms on your site, then you're essentially missing out on the entire lead generation aspect of the Inbox25 solution. Don't you want to deploy effective nurturing, lead scoring, and other automations upon your new leads? So these are the sources that we use for today's webinar that we inputted for today's presentation. So now on to the demonstration. So I have a form and a little practice that I'd like you guys to do for me. So if you look to the chat bubble of GoToMeeting, I've now put a link to a landing page. The landing page, when you click it, will look a little like this. I ask that you please provide your name, your email address, company name if you'd like, your mobile phone number, cell phone, please include the country code, and leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. Okay? You can start filling this out now. So while you're busy filling this out, I'm going to take you over to our dashboard and going to take us to the next tab, Automation. Now, prior to the demonstration, I've set up a few workflows that are going to work off of specific actions. The call to action for this demonstration being filling out a landing page. So I'm going to take you through the automated workflow. Now, to put some context around the example, let's say that this form has been embedded on your website. It's a general contact form, just essentially allowing the lead to provide some basic information about themselves so that you have a good starting point to start to market to them. This could be a contact us form, a simple request a quote, subscribe to our newsletters, anything and everything that involves getting just a little bit of information about the lead in order to start the marketing and sales processes. So the basis around this workflow is quite simple. It's purely based off of a landing page conversion. In this case, the specific landing page that I put the URL in for you guys. Okay? So, to any person who fills out this landing page, an introductory email is going to be sent out in 1 minute. Wait another minute. The lead will now be round robin assigned to all of my sales reps. Wait 1 more minute. Now the agents will be alerted via email that a record has been plugged into this automated workflow. 1 more minute. A call is now going to be set up and logged for the assigned record owner. So when the assigned record owner goes into their Sugar CRM or Suite CRM, and assuming they've enabled the call dashlet on their home page, if not, they simply go over to the calls module and logged calls will start appearing for them. As you notice, these calls are in the planned stage. So the goal is to have your reps log the call with the lead and then change it from either held or not held. This will become a little more clear in just a few minutes. Finally, the lead will receive an SMS. It's a little personal as it will pull in the first name of the lead and thanking them for showing their interest in today's webinar. So this is just a very simple workflow that in 5 minutes is not only sending an email, but also allowing the rep to call the lead and allowing you to send an SMS. 3 channels of marketing all completed within one workflow in 5 minutes. Now, creating a workflow that is going to not only route your leads, but also engage with the lead almost immediately is but the first step. As you noticed, there was an email that was plugged into that workflow. Perhaps you want to create another workflow that is going to engage with the lead based on an open from that email or a click from that email. Or perhaps you want to leverage the call. So in order to set this up, we'll go over to Add Automated Campaign. First, you'll select your target audience. Now, just a bit of background. The landing page I had you fill out was mapped to our CRM leads module. So I'm going to want to select my leads list. And let's name this lead opened email put through nurturing. So as I mentioned before, lead nurturing is very, very significant in the overall marketing strategy to turn them into a won opportunity. I'm going to make this a smart campaign because I want the system to consistently check for the initial conditional statements for this workflow. The initial conditional statement for this workflow being the campaign's condition. So I'm going to find the email campaign I created. And it's right here. Great. So lead opened first touch email. Awesome. So it's going to be very basic, going to be open. Just so you know, if you want to drill down a little further, you can also use the opened but did not click a specific link or did not click any link. You could also use a specific link or any link click, as well as if they clicked unsubscribe or forwarded. Depending on these operators, the workflow could become very different. But let's just stay basic. Let's just stay with an open. Great. So the lead opened the email. What would you like to do? Well, would I like to add another condition, making the workflow a little more stringent, or would I like to add an action? Well, I want this to be pretty open, so let me add an action. So how long would you like to wait from when this conditional statement is to be true to when you'd like actions to execute? Well, since this is not necessarily the inbound lead management workflow, this is the next step. You're going to want to make the wait connector a little further out. So let's just say, let's wait a day, right? Awesome. So now what do you want to do? The lead has already been called by a rep. The lead has already received an email, and the lead has already received an SMS from you, all within one day. So you don't want to spam them too much, and you don't want to overload them with digital marketing communications. So let's just send them a simple email, and for the sake of time, I'm just going to use an email that was already created before. So this email is going to revolve around trying to drive the lead to your website. So as I mentioned before, you want to make sure that every email communication you're sending has at least one or two links to your website. Being that by a lead clicking a link in that email and being directed to your website, they are now known to you. Once they're known to you, you can enact web activity as a condition to continue to engage with the leads. So let's say that you have a process where the lead needs to sign up for a newsletter. So you're going to send the request to join newsletter. All right. Now, if you're using previously created content, we always ensure that you need to go in to edit the message. Now, like I said, this email has already been created. It's perfect. This is what I want. I'm going to finish and save. Now, as a best practice, you typically want leads to receive email communications within normal business hours, within normal business days. The best days to send emails are Tuesday and Thursday, anywhere from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., depending on if the person is going to an early or late lunch. All right, so we'll add this action. So now we're requesting them to sign up for our newsletter. So now let's add a condition. We'll wait 3 days. Oops, let's try it again. 3 days. Awesome. So now we're going to be taken back to our condition wizard. So what do you want to do? Well, I want to leverage that same email campaign, right? So if they did not open email to sign up for newsletter, chances are either they didn't receive it or it just wasn't appealing to them for whatever reason. So as a best practice, maybe you want to send the same email but with a different subject line. So you'll go in, you'll edit the email. For the sake of time, I'm just going to go through this real quickly. And you will change the subject line. Maybe you want to give them an offer, an incentive to sign up for your newsletter. Receive a free gift, get 10% off your first order, something along those lines. So add that action. Great. Now, a really great way to not only vet your new leads, but also maintain your active target limit is if the lead has not engaged with this communication after a few attempts, well, let's wait 1 week. So we're giving them one last chance. If they do not open, we'll just find that email. There it is. They did not open. Awesome. What do you want to do? Well, we want to change their status from an active target to an inactive target. Now, this is solving a few things for the pro marketer user. A, you are not keeping active targets in your system that are not active or just not quality leads. Now, if at any point in time you want to engage with this lead again, you simply set them to active, maybe shoot off an e-blast and see if they bite. If they bite, maybe you want to continue engaging with them for a period of time, depending on your sales cycle, but you as the user know your business a lot more and should have your sales processes ingrained to know what a quality lead will do. So this workflow is basically the second touch point. Now, as you noticed, we also had a call as well as an SMS sent. Now, if a call is held with a lead or a call is not held with a lead, there's a very simple workflow you can create to make the lead feel more like they are receiving a personal experience, they are receiving special attention. And it's very, very simple, and I'm going to run through it really quickly, and it's call is held, send thank you email. So in case you did or did not know, you can personalize email campaigns to look like they're coming from the assigned record owner, or in this case, the sales rep. So if the call was held, oops, let's try it again. Call is held. And depending on, just as a best practice, depending on your sales strategy and if your sales reps are not only making calls to new leads, but they're making calls on behalf of other sales or marketing processes, it's always good to create a custom data field or even use INBOX25 tags to mark the leads that are specific to this marketing strategy, so new lead generation. Because you don't want to pull records in that a call has been held for that did not come in from your website or was not manually input or whatever it may be. This is specifically for your new leads. Great. So the call was held. Let's add another condition because I actually did create a custom data field. Call temperature equals hot. Great. So what do you want to do? Well, because I linked multiple conditions, the system will ask me, do I want all or any to be met, an and or an or statement. I want all to be met. I want to wait 1 minute, and then I want to shoot off a thank you email. Now, I'm going to go into the builder a little more in depth this time. Because you're using marketing automation, to go to settings to make it look more personable, like it's coming from the assigned record owner, you simply just put in sugar CRM, oops, try it again, assigned to. And we also show you right here. So now the record is coming from Sugar CRM assigned to the from name as well as the from email address and the reply to email address. Right? So now in email, oops, let's just do, there you go. Great. So now an email campaign, very simple message, maybe a link to your website and also, hey, Joe Smith, thanks for getting on the call. I appreciate you and look forward to continuing to build our relationship. Something very simple like that. All right, so we'll finish and save. Awesome. So that's another way to make the inbound lead management process and also able to engage with your leads on a more personal level effective and also automated. Now, there's one other avenue I mentioned before, and that is web activity. So once again, just add another automated workflow. We'll select our leads. Lead opened, lead clicked through email and landed on pricing page, right? So as I mentioned before, just to reiterate, if you send an email campaign with INBOX25 and you have a link that goes to your website, they click the link, the URL loads, boom, they become a known visitor to your website, right? So this time we're going to leverage web activity. So you'll pick your domain, you'll pick your operator. This time we'll use specific page viewed, and let's say they viewed our pricing page. But you don't want just any lead who viewed the pricing. You want the leads that came from your inbound marketing processes. So we're going to add another condition, and we're going to use the campaigns. And as you probably guessed, we're going to find that email. And they clicked a specific link, or clicked any link, or if you just wanted to leverage an open, it's up to you. This email doesn't have any links in it. Let me just find one really quickly. There you go. And we'll say they clicked this specific link that goes to our website. Lead clicked pricing page link in email campaign. Awesome. So we want all these to be met. And now, what do you want to do? Well, typically, once again, you want to send a message that is not only personal, but also relevant to the lead. So if they're on their pricing page, maybe you want to send them an email campaign that is offering an incentive to buy today. Maybe you want to offer them an email that is letting them know about related products. Or maybe you just want to help build brand awareness. So in this one, you typically want to send this email right away if they're on your pricing page, because who knows, they could be getting off your site, closing off the laptop, and then they're gone for the day. So for this strategy, you maybe want to use the content stream. Now, the content stream is our lead nurturing tool, and we do have a webinar presentation up and coming in the next few weeks, which details the content stream a lot more clearly and concisely. But in a nutshell, you can add or remove as much content as you like. You can set a very custom delivery interval, whether it be once or multiple times a day, week, or month. And you're also allowed to configure time-sensitive content. For instance, if an email is providing a promotion and the promotion is only valid for the next month or so, then the email will expire within the next month. So you go ahead, you add your content. Awesome, that's what you want. It's perfect, it's ready to go. And we'll just add one more piece. Perfect. So for this process, maybe you want the lead to receive it multiple times weekly, and we'll receive 3 emails a week, starting on Monday, one on Wednesday, and then again on Friday. Or you could do Tuesday, Thursday, and then Saturday or Sunday. And like I said, you want to try to keep it between 10 to 2 p.m., 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So let's do 11 a.m., 11 a.m., and on Saturday, let's make it around noon. Oops, try it again. Perfect. So here we are. If at any point in time you do have another email that you'd like to add in, that's not a problem. You don't need to pause the workflow. You simply go into this workflow and you plug that email in. So there you have it. Several examples of being able to not only lead, manage, and lead route, but also have that next step after the initial touch. So now I had you guys fill out that workflow, and as you see, you have gone through a few different workflows. So I go over here, I see all actions have been executed. As mentioned, in 5 minutes, you should have received an email as well as an SMS. Now, there's one workflow I didn't take you to, and that's based on geolocation. And I wanted to wait for that because I wanted to wait for form submissions. So on that landing page, I had a hidden field. This hidden field is telling me where the lead is coming from. So if you remember back from my example, this form is on my website on my contact. This is my contact page. So whoever fills out this landing page is going to have a hidden field mapped back to the record profile to a custom data field I labeled source type. And it's going to give it the value of contact form. So I use the data field as a condition, map to lead source type equals contact form, because I know that these leads specifically came from the contact form. Not only that, but I'm also targeting anyone located in the United States. So I don't want anyone located in Canada, United Kingdom, Europe, so on and so forth. Only the United States. If they came from the contact form and they've been geolocated in the United States, I want to add them to my USA lead list. I want to increase their lead score by 5 points because my company does mostly domestic work, so leads who are coming from the US, domestic, are more of a quality lead for me to close. Then I'm updating a data field of the description of the lead to let everyone know that this lead came from the USA. And then I'm going to send them an email about USA Can Spam Act so they can be educated on the Can Spam. Why am I sending a Can Spam email? Well, because I want them to know that everything I'm doing is by the books, legal, and that they are in good hands. And that email is also a link to the Can Spam Act where they can look and verify that everything we are doing is by the books. So here you have it, folks. Here are several ways to be able to manage and create new leads, lead route them, and engage with them in 5 minutes or less. I'll now open the floor for questions. If you relate to the demonstration, just as a quick word, if you have any questions, please relay it into the chat bubble of GoToMeeting. All right, I'll wait 1 more minute for questions. While I wait for that, let's just go through some frequently asked questions that I came up with myself prior to the demonstration. So one frequently asked question is, can I map landing page submissions to a Sugar CRM or Sweet CRM target list? Well, the answer is no. You cannot specifically map form submissions to a target list. However, you can map form submissions to a CRM list and then create an automated workflow leveraging the landing page conversion as a condition and then executing the action of adding those records to a target list. Another frequently asked question is there a quicker way for my sales reps to immediately be notified when a landing page is converted on? So actually there is. So if I go on over to the landing page I created today, and had you guys fill out and go over to the back end, you'll notice that we've instituted a new feature a few months back called on submit send alerts to. So what this does is it sends an email alert immediately upon form submission to any amount of email addresses separated by a comma. So not only is my email address being notified, but a colleague of mine is being notified as well. What does this email say? It tells you the name of the landing page that was converted on, the name of the lead, what CRM list they're located within, and then all of the form submission data that they provided is right there. So for this example, I asked for you to provide your mobile contact number. Well, if a sales rep is being alerted via email immediately upon a form submission, they can simply look at that email, look at the phone number, get on the phone, and call that lead. And that's about as real-time, as quick as it will get. So I'll open the floor for a few more seconds for any other additional questions you guys have. All right, doesn't look like there's any questions. Wonderful, wonderful. Hopefully I did a good job. Guys, I just want to say thank you for attending today's webinar, How to Effectively Engage with Leads in 5 Minutes or Less. Please stay tuned for our upcoming webinars. Next one is on Thursday, and we'll be going every Tuesday and Thursday for the next few weeks. Just as a quick word, all webinars are being recorded and will be put up for further viewing on our YouTube channels as well as on our knowledge base. This is Alex Borak with INBOX25, signing off. Have a good day, everyone.